welcome to today's edition of Air HSP News. Today with me, I have the brilliant scientist Patricia Hunt. Dr. Hunt has been studying BPA at a university in Cleveland, Ohio. So, tell us, Dr. Hunt, what exactly is BPA?
Well, BPA's full name is bisphenol A. Chemically, it is known as carbon-15, hydrogen-16, and oxygen-2. It is a chemical used to make plastic along with parts of natural gas. It helps the plastic to be tougher. In some studies, it is shown to seep through the container and get into the foods that we eat.
So, is it bad that it gets into the food that we eat and that it gets into our system?
Well, it is. In a study I did, I found that it can cause malformed cells. And in another study I've read, they say it can cause damage to your tooth enamel, it can cause arrhythmias, and it can cause a spike in your blood pressure. So I do believe that BPA is bad to have in your system, but it is a very controversial subject.
So how did you get on the topic to start studying BPA?
The reason I found it was because when I was experimenting with mice, I found malformed cells in a controlled group of mice that had not yet been experimented on. I got very curious to why they would have malformed cells. After examining all the equipment, I found cracks and bubbles in the plastic of their cage. It formed due to an unusual strong detergent. Because of that, the BPA leaking out of the plastic, the BPA caused malformed cells in the mice, and it got me very interested in how BPA affects us.
That's all we have for now. We're going to have to take a commercial break, but when we come back, what are some things that people have done to help with BPA? Are you looking for a BPA-free water bottle?
Then come on down to AJ's Market so you won't die
and live a happy life. Hello, and welcome back to RHSP News. For those of you just joining us, today we have been talking about BPA and its effects on our health. The last question that we left off on was, what are some things that people have done to help with the BPA problems? Why don't you answer that for us, Dr. Hunt?
Alright. Well, as you know, BPA is in a lot of things that we use today. It is used a lot by the food industry for packaging foods, but most controversially, it is used in baby bottles. All over the world, people are working towards getting rid of BPA. In the UK, the Cancer Prevention and Education Society were so worried about the effects of BPA that they were calling to have it taken out of products. Now knowing some of the effects of BPA, big American firms are no longer making BPA bottles. Even the FDA has expressed concerns about BPA and how it affects our children. The FDA agrees with industries that are trying to remove it from the infant bottles and tinned foods. But that's just a few examples of ways people are trying to get rid of the BPA problem. And when they get rid of BPA, they replace it with a new chemical, BPS.
So what are some ways that people at home can reduce their exposure to BPA?
A few things you could do is eat more fresh foods and less canned. You could use glass or stainless steel containers to store your food instead of plastic. And avoid microwaving plastic containers.
And then, what are some just random facts that you know about BPA?
1 second, I have to think about this. Well, one is 7 billion pounds of BPA are produced each year for food packaging and more. In 2009, Chicago became the first city to ban the sales of BPA in baby bottles and sippy cups that contain BPA. Lastly, in the 1960s is when they started using BPA as a liner on the inside of cans to extend its shelf life.
Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you for being a part of the show, Dr. Hunt.
Thank you. It has been an honor.
Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you for watching Air HSP News.